is going on with the Crew3 podcast. I was Ruckman. With me as always is my co-host Chris.
Hey.
And Ricky is out this week fighting the good fight, telling everyone screaming at clouds to play more removal interaction.
That's right.
So we'll talk about that a little bit more coming up, because I don't know if you are aware of this, Chris, but it turns out fixed Cascade isn't quite as fixed and might be better.
Not as fixed. Not as fixed as they thought it was, that's for sure.
Yeah. Before we get started, though, here's a little quick little story I forgot to tell last week. My wife, my adorable little wife, right?
Oh, so adorable.
She comes home from thrifting, and she says, "Baby, look at this cute little vase I got. It's tie-dye. It's from the 70s. She's like, I think it's from like the 70s. Mm-hmm. It's like this big, perfect for like her little shelf she has in the living room, right? We were just looking for little like knickknacks and tchotchkes to put on, right?
Right.
Just a little tiny little like tie-dye vase." And she's like, "And I got it for $5." And I said, "Oh, that's pretty cute. That's a good pickup. That's a good pickup." Well, so we've had that for like a month now.
Right.
And the other week, she goes to Five Below. And she walks into Five Below and sees several. The exact same little tie-dye vase for sale.
Yeah, yes.
For $2.
No. Yeah, that is the world we live in, unfortunately. I've seen that a lot. We used to go to the farmer's market and be like, I've seen these exact tomatoes at Sam's Club. Like, these are not from your farm. You went and bought these last night at Sam's Club and are now trying to resell them under the guise of the farmer's market. So I've unfortunately seen it all in my time. So tell Marilee I feel for her.
Yeah, so be careful when you go thrifting out there, everyone.
Also careful if you're out there on Magic Twitter.
Yeah. Because
there's gone a lot. The guy with the Jujutsu Kaisen anime profile picture, he's had a heck of a 2 years. First he was an epidemiologist, right?
Yeah.
Recently he was a foreign policy expert, right? And now he's come to give you his opinions on Pioneer. And all 3 games he's played has told him that the Discover deck is the most broken thing to ever hit a Magic table,
Yeah.
And it needs to be addressed immediately on their Christmas ban list.
Well, don't forget, this is the same format that couldn't hold a removal spell to get Winota banned.
That's true. Yeah, we're 1 weekend, the sky is falling, or it's the best format ever, depending on who you ask, right? Like the modern players who are like, "Oh, I like to play a bunch of cards and do stuff," are like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." I've enjoyed it. I've been having fun, just like I have been.
Yeah. Maybe
that's me. These combos still win by attacking, except for the Quintorius version.
Yeah.
But if you're playing the Geo Appraiser, you still have to attack with your creatures. So
yeah,
it's strong.
I think people just need to once again learn to adapt. I think like especially the Appraiser version of the deck list, right?
Yeah.
It just feels like a really good version of the Garuda deck that was always bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're 1 week in. I mean, the deck could be overpowered, right? I mean, I think it's too early to tell. I just think that the 1 week of sample size, somebody may come out with some adjustments that may make the deck just, oh my gosh,
sure. And we'll talk more about this when we get to the challenges and stuff like that, because obviously, big story.
Yes.
The finals were both versions of the Discover deck.
Yep.
Of the big like several hundred player showcase.
Yep.
Important to note also, the modern challenge did not fire on Sunday.
No, it didn't. It's falling. When we talked about that for Pioneer, people were like, "Oh no, doom and gloom."
That's right.
So Modern's officially over. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
trade in your Modern Horizons 2 cards.
And buy Ixalan cards. I don't know.
You can't buy them. They're not out there. Good luck. I wanted to buy some reasonably priced singles, and I could not find them. All of the cards are over $10. It looks like because
I want to tell you, Chris. Everyone who's been trying to Merfolk, they've been saying that Tishana's Tidebinder is the truth.
It is the truth, and I should have pre-ordered them and believed my own saying. I didn't think the card would be modern playable, but it is. And so, unfortunately, the card's too strong, and so that's one of the cards that's like over $10 that I'm just like, golly.
You're welcome for the one I gave you, then.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, I am just like my Fables. I've been given the card Tishana's Tidebinder. It's a hot one.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, that card, I did a lot of like, okay, let me be the bad guy and be the combo deck over the weekend. right?
Sure.
I played a ton of Explorer. I played a lot of God Pharaoh's Gift. You should
Uh,
stay off Twitter, but if you want to log in for one day to check out my God Pharaoh's Gift list, or I think we put one last week. I've got a new one
we
for
did.
Arena
Yeah.
Best of One. The deck is very competitive. I've been having a ton of fun. I win way more matches than I lose. Right? I don't think I'm at like a 55 or 60%
Yeah.
win rate, something like that,
Gnomes,
as I'm climbing.
gnomes, gnomes,
The
gnomes,
gnomes, the
gnomes.
gnomes are insane. The gnomes are better. People will try and Geo Appraiser you, and I'm like, I've got 14 1/1s to block with, and I'm going to make a bunch more next turn. Like,
Yeah.
you win the game, and you get to combo a turn faster. So, I've really loved Godfrey's Gift. Then I was just like, these decks are stupid. Like all these Geo decks, all of the Discover stuff is dumb.
Mhm.
I could just beat this with a mono black deck,
Yeah.
and also beat Greasefang because Timoret, the double black Theros card, exiles cards from graveyards.
Yeah.
So I just played mono black hate bears that topped off with the Bat God and Gary. Crushed people. We
Yeah.
just destroyed because we just thought seized people
Yeah.
and took away their cards, and then played actual removal spells, and then just played mono black creatures and killed opponents. And the same thing you could do with Merfolk. Tashana's Tidebinder solves a lot of the problems that you'll see with Karn. Geo Appraiser, right, stops that
Yeah.
from having abilities, stops Quintorius from having abilities. So like Tashana's Tidebinder solves a lot of your Pioneer problems if you're having them.
Yeah.
Um,
I need to get back to Magic. I've been actually the last couple days. Well, before I started getting back into Hearthstone the last couple days, I've been just on the WoW grind again, trying to
Yeah.
catch up on content. But I've been playing just a little bit of Hearthstone
That's
the
right.
last couple nights.
Tell us about your Hearthstone adventures.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky and Nate got me back in a little bit just because they've been talking about this one. Essentially, it's Demon Hunter Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Because also, obviously, Ricky jumped in because Cowboy set, right? I will say right now, Hearthstone has this amazing idea where they're called catch-up packs. And the first one you get, and you get a few of these just for like coming back to the game.
You get a lot. You get like 80.
Yeah.
If you just download Hearthstone and you've downloaded it.
Well, like regular packs, right? But like you
Yeah.
get a couple of these catch-up packs too.
Right, sure.
And these catch-up packs are, I believe they're every set but the newest standard set. I think they're everything but Outlaws of the Badlands.
Sure.
Showdown of the Badlands, rather. And you start off with the first one you open is like 40-something cards, and then every subsequent pack you open, it like gives you less and less cards.
Right.
So I bought a bundle that was like 20 of those packs and 10 of the new set for like $20 or whatever.
Yeah.
And like my account was pretty stacked after that.
Yes. Because you're guaranteed legendaries. And I wish I knew the math on them. I knew them last week, but I've been enjoying some my favorite root beer, my favorite soda that's made in Shiner, Texas. I've been enjoying some of that, so it's hard for me to remember exactly, but I think it's like the first 5 you're guaranteed X number of legendaries, something like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, after I looked at because I've been playing the list that Ricky and Nate's got me on, which is like the Naga Storm list built around. It's a 3-cost Naga. It's a 1/5, and it has the ability when you cast a Naga spell, deal
2 damage.
2 damage to a random enemy.
Yep.
And then draw a card.
Yep.
And then it switches to when you cast a spell after that. And then it will flip back after you cast a spell. So the deck is like, play a bunch of spells that will just end up being cheap or free.
Yep.
And then you play like the cheapest Naga possible.
Yep. Because you get cost reduction effects in Hearthstone.
Yeah.
It's like your hand because it's a digital game only. So
yeah, and then like some of the spells you can play for free are just like boost your character attack. So it's like you one that will just give your guy your Illidan +4 power for free if you've drawn a few cards that turn.
Yep.
And then you have free ones that are just like +3 damage to put a card back. I think I swung for like 12 with Illidan in one turn.
Yep.
So
I've seen a couple times. I've seen that because there's a weapon also that you can play that does something. It reduces your card's cost. So that plus 2 of the pump spell. You're attacking for a lot. So
yeah. So I've been playing that. I unfortunately to craft a few cards, we had to jump into the legendary supply a little bit. Which is a shame because of course now they've looked at more meta lists. I'm like, we dusted a couple legendaries that are pretty relevant, but whatever. Whatever,
sure.
right? It's Hearthstone.
That's how it goes, right?
You'll get it back. You'll get it back eventually, right?
That's exactly right.
So I've been having just a little bit of fun with Hearthstone, but I think it's about time to jump into Magic because everyone's been having fun. I mean, besides the Discover decks we're going to talk about again here, there's been a lot of sick brews. I've seen some sick looking standard lists, right?
Yes.
Some people in the Discord are showing off a standard I believe it was a standard list that you could play in Pioneer too, essentially, which was just like, yeah, we're gonna play 4 of Adel. It was like a Boros list that just stopped the curve at 3, and you're just like, yeah, we're gonna play Adeline and the new 3 mana card that makes gnomes,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna like beat face. And I'm like, this deck
Yep.
looks sick.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. It's another slap episode too, isn't it? So we get to break out the theme song
it
at some
is.
point later in the
We'll
episode.
be able to do that. Yeah. So I mean, like this Ixalan, when it was announced, I was like, whatever.
Right.
Spoiler season happened. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, all right.
Uh-huh.
Now the set's here. This set is wild. I
This set
mean,
is hot.
I had the idea this morning, and I think I'm going to figure out how to put it together. But I think this year we'll probably do we'll introduce the idea of the Crew3 awards.
Okay.
And we'll have some categories, you know, like best new creature, best like creature or whatever.
Oh.
We'll do some new and just cards in the format, right?
You know, Ricky loves the award shows,
of course, and I wouldn't be surprised if LCI wasn't the best Pioneer set this year.
Spoilers, Ruckman.
Yeah,
you gotta wait. You gotta tease the people a little bit.
I'm just saying. Look, the people are going to vote. I'm going to let the people vote.
People are going to vote. All right.
I'm just saying.
When does the Academy vote? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I'll be the Academy. How about that?
Yeah.
I can.
So I'll build up a ballot and we'll send it out here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll do that probably at the end of the year.
I'm already the law, so I should.
You're already the law. That's correct.
That's
correct.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, I exactly like you. I had written this off when it got announced. I mean, I think on this very podcast, I told these here listeners that this set was like, I don't care. I'm ready to go back to Lorwyn, you know? I was like, Ixalan, not my favorite. Man, if I could go back and slap myself in the face. If I could
turn back time.
If I could find a way. If I could go back and punch myself in the face, I would. That's how strongly I was wrong. And again, we didn't know. Just the announcement. I was not a big fan of first Ixalan, right? Just based on the announcement, I had written this set off, was not a fan, and they have put out some banger cards.
Have you seen the music video for If I Could Turn Back Time?
Definitely not.
It's just Cher dancing all over a naval battleship with a bunch of sailors.
Of course, I don't know what I expected. Of course it is.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about some events, because I don't know if I don't think we've actually talked about this, but the former preliminary on Friday is now a challenge. So Pioneer has 3 challenges a week now.
Ooh, let's hope we can keep it up. We need the Pioneer Army out there.
I mean, I think we're doing it because, I mean, they also bumped up the player cap required to launch Saturday and Sundays. So we're making it. And I forget the exact player count, but the player count for the showcase that was on Sunday was several hundred players. So let's dive right on in, shall we? I mean, these first 2 events, I'm going to be honest, nothing super crazy, nothing super exciting in them, because I think a lot of players were hiding the tech. You know, they were like, we'll show up with some okay stuff, but we're gonna save the new hotness for Sunday's showcase.
Of course we are.
So let's get started here with Friday the 17th. Our top 8 here. We're gonna start with Steelers 42 on Gruul Aggro. We have Sam Sherman on 7th place with Nykthos Ramp, mono green, of course. Captain 16, 6th place with Is It Phoenix. Jack Nineham has 5th place with mono green Devotion. 4th place, Eggy Benny with Rakdos mid-range. Playing our build here, playing Archfiend of the Dross with Children of the Apocalypse, of course. 1 copy of Molten Collapse. No new Doomblade in this list, though.
Okay.
3rd place, Hotaro on Boros Convoke. And then 2nd place, Jabberwocky on Rakdos Sack. And 1st place, Mr. Toolshed with Azorius Control. And this is the Kahira build of Azorius Control here. So featuring new cards, Get Lost, a card that I'll be talking a little bit more about later, because that card's going to be pretty good.
Yep. I want to mention 14th place.
Okay, what you got in 14th place?
Civic Merfolk.
Civic Merfolk.
We're murdering them.
Let's talk about this first place. This top 8, then we'll come back down to Merfolk.
All right, I'll let you talk about this top 8.
Well, I mean, I just think it's kind of interesting that like our Rakdos list doesn't have the much hyped up. Look at our new Doomblade effect. This card's so good. Look at how. Oh my god, this is the best Doomblade variant ever, and it is not here.
Okay,
Words for play. Go over the throat and Heartless Act.
yeah, true enough. I just think they couldn't get a hold of them. It's a hard uncommon to get a hold of. Supply, demand, all that stuff.
Uh huh.
They'll be in there next week. It'll be in
Sure.
there. It'll be in there.
This Boros Convoke list, like I respect Boros Convoke playing Thalia in their list now. Let's
Why not?
talk for a second about Warden of the Inner Sky. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, right, I wish Ricky was here to defend this card because I'm still a little iffy on this card.
Right.
People are saying with this card, right? Like, if you go turn one this card into your like Thraben Inspector plus Voldaren Epicure or Thraben Inspector plus another one drop on turn two, you could put a counter on this guy. Like the play here is right. If you go like Inspector plus Epicure into like Demolition, then on turn three you can have this guy with like Flying and Vigilance, and
Right.
like that's all really
It's cute.
cool.
Right.
I think I just want to kill my opponent.
Yeah, that's not the draw I'm afraid of. Like, I'm not going to tell you this card's bad. What I am going to tell you is, like, when people were going in on this card, it wasn't the Boros Convoke that I'm afraid of, where we go, like, turn one, Epicure, turn two, Gleeful Demolition, Ornithopter, Thraben Inspector, and then a 4/4. And, oh, look, I just drew two more cards. I'm going to convoke those all out next turn, and then next turn you are
Yeah.
dead. I'm attacking you for 35 damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm much more afraid of the turn two Loxodons and turn two Night Errant of Eoses, which happen not too infrequently, whether or not you've got the Gleeful Demolition or not sometimes.
Yeah.
Just depending on what you can put out there. Those are the draws that I'm afraid of. And I think
Don't
this
get me
is
wrong.
like,
I think the deck getting some reach here with Flying and Vigilance,
yes,
like that's
true.
nice. That
Right.
is solid, right?
If we need that to get around something, I can see what you're saying.
And sure, that scry is going to help us find our recruiters that we've dropped. It's going to help us find our Surge Goblins that we're not even playing anymore, right?
Yep.
But I still, now that we have to race big dumb elephants and a bunch of nerds with rocks,
Yep.
I think we just got to go fast.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you in that I'm not sure this list does anymore. Like, I think you are hey, I'm a turn faster than the combo decks, right?
Yeah.
And I can put pressure on you and you don't have or play enough interaction because I'm going wide. I think that's where we're at. And I'm not sure this card does that, right? They're just going to kill your thing in response to you activating it, and you wasted a bunch of time investing in a creature that's dead and or not good enough. So,
yeah,
again, I'm with you. But Thalia, unfortunately, doesn't stop the Geo combo.
Yeah.
They're going to discard to make treasures and then still cast their Geo. And then, again, yeah, you do get them if they're on the
Quintorius.
Well, I'm thinking the Eldritch Evolutions.
Sure.
But if they just play a bunch of 3-mana clones and Imidane's Recruiter, you could still be in trouble, right? They were the Boros Convoke deck that game. So I am with you. I think the card's fine. I'm just not afraid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, nothing new here in our Rakdos Sack build. In the control deck list, like I said, we're playing 2 copies of Get Lost. I think this card, we'll talk about again, when we get to Discover, how to combat Discover. I think this card is going to be one of the most important spells in the set. And that's the reason why I really hyped this card up when we were making our top 8s. All right, let's look at, you want to talk some Merfolk? Let's talk Merfolk. What do we got?
Simic Merfolk. This card, of course, just features
by Hamuda.
Hamuda, a name that we've seen quite a few times when looking at these challenges. C-Note Scout is what I'm going to call it. I'm not going to call it Kenout. I'm going to call it C-Note Scout. The new Explorer All-Star. This is definitely a card you should be picking up in foils if you get the chance and like foils. This card is hot, hot, hot. It activates the Aguirre combo. It's also a Merfolk, so it also plays really, really well here. The new cards, of course, are C-Note Scout and then Tashana's Tidebinder. Those are the really, really big ones. We also pick up the enchantment Deeproot Pilgrimage. If you don't remember that one, it's 1 blue, 1 colorless, and it's enchantment. Whenever one or more non-token Merfolk you control become tapped, create a 1/1 blue Merfolk creature. So unfortunately, it does say 1 or more. But if you have the ability, like our 3-mana Kumena, says tap another untapped merfolk you control. This creature can't be blocked. So you could, if you have a bunch of merfolk that you're trying to go wide, you can build your own convoke deck because you can start tapping your merfolk one at a time
Sure.
to make 1/1 tokens if it's not the right time to get in. And that's an instant speed, I believe, ability. Deep Root does not say your turn or anything like that. So you
Yes.
can leave up your blockers end of your opponent's turn. Hey, guess what? My Kumena can have unblockable as many times as it wants. I'm just going to start tapping my merfolk in order to make
Yeah.
myself a bunch of 1/1
Well,
tokens.
there's also, I don't think it topped anything, but there was also just kind of a combo deck that was going off with Deep Root Pilgrimage and like the Merfolk Untappers, just built around just like you just kind of you get like the Merfolk that untaps a thing and either a clone or another one of those, and you just start just going ping, ping, ping. You just like twiddle
Yep.
combo,
Just twiddle
right?
them. Yep.
Yeah.
Vidalian, this deck is not the cheapest deck. Like unfortunately, this deck plays Vidalian Hexcatcher, which
Mhm.
are up to a few bucks a pop now. Tashana's Tidebinder is new, so it's expensive. Collected Company is holding a little bit of value. Deep Root Pilgrimage is just
Yeah.
a few bucks, but your lands, of
Cavern of
course.
Souls also doesn't come down in price
Cavern of
yet.
Souls, unfortunately, not losing any value there. But yeah, this deck looks really, really cool. And I think that this deck's stock only goes up as you see more of the fragile decks. As you see decks like trying to compete with
Yeah.
the Discover combo decks, this deck rules them all, right?
Yeah.
We've got Hex Catchers, we've got Tidebinders, so we compete really, really well. We interact
Yeah.
really, really well with those decks.
I really like having just the one of Benthic Biomancer here. I think when I was again building Merfolk, right, um, Biomancer is I think a card that's going to go underplayed a
Mm-hmm.
bit. But I think if you get like things like your Kumena going right, I don't think it's as powerful now. But you know, even if we played the Merfolk has put a 1/1 counter on the thing when a Merfolk entered, just having the extra draw ability here with the Biomancer, I think cannot be overlooked.
Yep. Yep. Makes sense to me. I like the reasoning.
16th place, we have Ivan Drago on Bant Company. This is kind
Yes.
of like this is a fun list here. We've got 4 Mystic, 4 Llanowar Elves, 3 Fairy Mastermind, 4 Luminarch Aspirant, 2 The Goose Mother, 4 Archon of Emeria, 2 Sky Collaboration, 4 Spell Queller, 4 Tishana's Tidebinder, 2 Get Lost, and places to collect company here. So here's our kind of, we got a little bit of a Bant Hate Bears list here.
Man, Skyclip Operation, another just key interaction piece to the format,
Mhm.
right? The big thing there is not only can we get 4-mana creatures, we can get 4-mana planeswalkers, we can get any like glass casket type effects that have been taken in
Mhm.
our stuff. Unfortunately, Leyline Binding's too expensive, but I've been hitting a lot of stuff. Liliana's, there's a lot of stuff I've been hitting with my Skyclip Operations while I'm playing Godfarrow's Gift. I've obviously been super impressed by this card. And then, of course, we've got All Stars, Spell Queller, and Tashana's Tidebinder. There's just a lot of really, really good threes.
Mhm.
And so I think it makes sense just to play a Coco list right now with
Sure.
the power of Tashana's Tidebinder, Spell Queller, Sky Apparition. Those threes are very, very, very powerful, right? And I
Well, I
would
mean,
argue that
Archon of Emeria. I mean, there's so
Arkham
many.
of Emeria,
I
yeah,
mean, Ricky's deck list from last week with the Mono Green Land Hate deck showed us that like non-basic lands are in high play right now.
yes,
So
true.
Archon is just gonna hit everybody.
Yep. Yep. Hey, if I have Spelunking in play, since I'm the affected player, do I choose if if my lands in play untapped or not? Is that how that
Yes,
works?
you would. Yeah,
Something like that? Somebody
yeah.
can explain it to us better, but I believe when
No,
two
you would.
replacement effects,
Two replacement effects
yeah,
happen. The affected opponent's controller chooses.
yeah, something like the affected thing, whatever that may be. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm hoping that's how it works. I would really like my spelunking to work, but yeah, Archon of Emeria, right? I forgot this text. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Ooh, Discover's looking real rough.
yeah,
You at least gotta wait a turn, you know.
yeah.
And then again, you get your one Discover, no more Discover, no
Let's
moss.
freak out about a combo deck that doesn't lose to silence.
Right. Well, most combo decks lose to silence,
Sure.
but silence on a stick is definitely could be the way to go going forward here. So, all right, and then of course 25th we've got the Amalia combo, which people thought would be everywhere. Let's move on to the next challenge.
Yeah, we'll go to the next one. I mean, let's talk about Molly. It'll show up in another one, but I do kind of. There's also a Molly in 28th place as well. So, big shouts to one of them was on Witch's Oven, a food like a Witch's Oven food build, and the 25th place is on kind of similar to what I kind of pitched. They're playing things like Graveyard Trespasser and Ronus.
Yep.
Ronus is actually a pretty fun include. Since you'll keep your Amalia around, he'll stay around after your Amalia blows up the world, right?
Yeah.
And Amalia will let him attack, and then you can use him to give your Amalia trample. So Ronus, pretty solid include there for
Why
sure.
does Amalia let him attack? Oh, because he creature with 4 power.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's right. It's
Yeah.
the power one. I thought it was the devotion one for a second.
No, it's the power love.
Power. Yeah. Yes. Fair enough.
All
Smart.
right, moving on to Saturday here. In 8th place, you have Remph on Bant Spirits. In 7th place, we have Ginkgo HS on Lotus Field. 6th place, Dreams of Ashiok on Enigmatic Fires.
One of our favorites.
5th place, Wow Claudiums.
Yep. Something Portuguese, I think.
Yeah. On 4-color Rona. In 4th place, we have Herman Hero on 5-color Humans. We'll come back to this one. I'm excited to talk about this deck list. Oh, man. Every time I see the cross of Cavern of Souls, I cry, though. Yep. In 3rd place, Fingers 1991 on Rakdos midrange. Once again, no Bitter Triumph. Second place, Free My Felidar on Lotus Field. And then in 1st place, Gracias Portanto on Rakdos Sacrifice.
Classic.
Playing 1 copy of Tarian's Journal. What is this card? Sacrifice other creature artifact, draw a card, activate only as a sorcery. 2 and tap, discard your hand, transform it to the journal. You may cast a creature spell from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It is a vampire and shoots other types. Okay, all right, cool. I'm in on the journal.
We're in on it, huh?
Yeah. Main board Meat Hook Massacre. We came to beat Convoke.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
All right, what do we got here? We got 5 color humans here. We're playing the new Kitesail Larcenist. That's our fresh pickup here, flying Ward 1. Enters the battlefield, choose 1 target artifact creature the player controls. For as long as you control Larcenist on the battlefield, the chosen permanent goes to treasure with sacrifice and lose all of the abilities. That's a 2/3. That's good. I like this card.
Heck yeah.
A lot. Like, I got these full Manus Riders in my binder, and it's time to cast them, baby.
It's time to get them out here.
I think it is. I really, really think it is. My just don't tell my wife when I buy these Cavern of Souls.
All right, I'll keep it quiet. Just between us.
I gotta start saving for a Disney vacation next year.
Yes, fair enough.
I mean, Rona combo. Look, I'm glad you're still here. Look, yeah, I don't know why the door's still open for you. I don't know who you bribed to keep getting in here. We need better security, but you're here, I guess. Good on you.
They bribed Claudiums.
Yeah, good on you, Lotus.
Man, this is such a diverse top 8, and I keep hearing, we used to hear about how great Modern was weeks ago. So I want to see what the Modern challengers are looking like real quick. Hang on, I'm going to go ahead and look at the Modern challenges and look at the diversity of the top.
Well, you might have trouble finding Modern challengers, Chris. Let me remind you that Sunday didn't fire.
Oh, Sunday didn't fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me look at this like the most recent Modern challengers and see what the deck spread is like here, and just see all the diversity that Modern has to offer the people, in case maybe we've got some Modern players in our listener group and maybe they want to play some Modern. We can help them and let them know what the Modern made. Let's see here. Okay. Let's look at I think there's something wrong. There's something wrong here, Ruckman. I'm only seeing one deck show up.
Oh, really?
There's only one deck. This must be an error. Let me refresh the page real quick. Let me refresh. Click a little F5. Little F5 for the people. It's still the same deck.
Weird.
Let me scroll down. Just scroll down. Oh, here we go. Down, way down the page. There's an amulet. Primeval Titan. Remember Primeval Titan?
Yeah, I remember Primeval Titan.
Yes, you got some of those and some Tron here.
Oh,
and those are 2% of the metagame. And then this, what is this? What's scam mean? What's Rakdos scam? What is that?
That's where I think the scam is that you had to buy a lot of Modern Horizons 2 cards.
That sounds like the scam to me. That sounds like the scam to me. You know what? I'm praying for you, modern players. I'm praying that somewhere WotC wakes up and gives you Modern Horizons 2 block again, but with one fewer Modern Horizons 2 card for you, you know? And then soon Modern Horizons 3 will be out and you can play those
Yeah.
cards as well. So that'll be exciting. We're all looking forward to that, of course. And yeah, there we go.
I forgot to mention it with Spirits in the last set, the last event, but Rep here is also playing one. The next pick up Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel, which is, of course, our one in a blue flash flyer, who is a looter, right? And then if there are 4 more he gets a counter when there are 4 more counters. You can cast the discard card without paying its mana cost. Azorius play like 2 of this guy. Look like it's playing 1. I think this card is pretty good. Of course, those Spirits players do watch out. And remember, just like when we were playing with Warden of the Spheres, you unfortunately cannot rattle chains to save Malcolm, and he does not get bonuses from your Supreme Phantoms or your Shaft guys. So this card, you know what? The deck likes to dig. We need to keep digging. But be careful with your interactions on this card. Also, this might be look. I love the Ixalan show, like the showcase border, right?
Yeah.
This Malcolm art's kind of scuffed though.
Yes, some of the arts are gorgeous. I love this set so much, and I was reading some of the lore, which was my favorite because I was like, why did we go back? Oh, they discovered some new caverns because there were some Phyrexian sleeper agents that were hiding inside of some temples, and then they had to break in to get those guys out and kill them. You know, as you do.
Yeah.
And then as they did that, they were like, what are these holes here? That's where lost caverns come in. They spelunked, they went deeper.
And then Will Ferrell said, we're going to journey to the center of the earth.
That's exactly right. Matt Lauer can suck it, you know? That's what we learned there. Hey, this some of these Amalia decks here.
Oh, the Amalia decks. I was going to talk about 10th place real quick.
We can talk about 10th place also, but this is a lot of spells here. Now we're up to 12 spells to play Return to the Ranks, Court of Calling, and Collected Company on some of these decks.
Mm-hmm.
That's baller.
I'm also liking Huntsman's Redemption. That's a pretty interesting pick.
I don't like that with Collected Company, which I'm a big fan of. I think it's close. I know there's a guy named Tomber, who, heavy MTGO user. I see him in the Doomwake stream all the time.
Yeah.
Seems cool. Regular profile picture of a regular person that seems like would be lovely to talk to inside of an HEB. But I'm not a big fan of the Humpson. I think it could be cool, but I like maximum hits with my Collected Company, you know?
Yeah.
But I suppose it's the same as playing Return to the Ranks. So I guess if you replace that card with any,
I just think the Huntsman's
same thing.
The Huntsman's an interesting take here because it's like, hey, we're gonna get a little more value off of our cords, but it's playing a little bit of toolbox build, and then of course you get to do that as well with the Huntsman. So I definitely see what you're saying, where it's like, this build here, this Abzan build in 19th place for Orner, isn't on Coco. It's just on Huntsman and Cord.
Sure,
it's also playing Thoughtseize. So
that makes sense. Like I said, those are not necessarily they're the non-bows, I guess. So
all right, ready to move on to the big one.
Let's go to the big one.
Actually, I forgot to talk 10th place. Rakdos Artifact Sacrifice. So we got 4 Vulnerant Epicure, 4 Blood Tithe Harvester, 2 Vran Executioner Thane, 4 Fatal Push, 4 Gleeful Demolition, 4 Deadly Speed, 2 Shrapnel Blast, 4 Experimental Synthesizer, 2 Implement of Combustion, 3 Springleaf Drum, 4 Onical Anvil, 3 Meat Hook Massacre. So, hey, Karns are getting run off the board because Karns do not stop Discover.
Right. Yep.
So, hey, this is kind of cool. I haven't wanted to play some Onical Anvil again. I tell you what. All right, ready? Ready to move on to the big one on Sunday?
Let's look at it.
All right. In 8th place, we have Ale Milan 19 on Is It Phoenix. 7th place, Liu Chin on Rakdos Midrange. 6th place, Amaz on Rakdos Sacrifice. 5th place, Catwo 079595 on Is It Phoenix. 4th place, Matsf 34 Is It Phoenix. In 3rd place, we have Scouter TF2 on Boros Convoke. In 2nd place, we have JMM on 4-color Discover. This is going to be our Geological Appraiser boy. Just some dumb nerves, some rocks. And then in first base, we have Triosk on Quintorius Discover combo. All right, let's tackle for second place here. Then we'll talk about first place. We have both big flavors of Discover here. So let's break them down, shall we? So the 4-color Discover deck list is our non-Quintorius build here. This is built on Geological Appraiser. So we're going to be playing 4 Geological Appraiser, 4 Glasspool Mimic. Then we're going to mix in some cards like Doomscar Titan to give our board haste. We're going to play some cards like Galta just to cheat our hand into play, right? And then we're going to play 4 copies of Trumpeting Carnosaur, which is, of course, a big boy with Discover 5. It also gives us some removal to break things up before we get going.
Yep.
This is not... we're not on...
There's a channel ability, too, is the important part.
Channel, yeah.
So that's big because it can kill like a Thalia, which could be wrecking our dreams, you know?
Yeah. And then we're playing to keep also the combo going. We have Eldritch Evolution, which like Chris mentioned earlier. So we can play Glasspool Mimic and Geological Appraiser as our... so Geological Appraiser is going to go ahead and hit Glasspool Mimic or Eldritch Evolution, which then lets us crack our Appraiser to go into Trumpeting Carnosaur, and then we get to start working the chain back down. Because Carnosaur will find our Appraiser, which will then find, or it'll keep going. Glasspool Mimic will hit our Eldritch Evolution, which will then let us sack the Carnosaur to go into our Galta to just dump our hand into play, right? So then to help speed out the combo, we're of course playing Magma Opus, Creative Outburst, Elemental Masterpiece to make treasure tokens. And then we have Bedeck Bedazzle as some removal to, hey, we need incidental removal that we can also not hit with our big Discover spells, thanks to how split cards work. And the same thing with Connive Concoct, where Concoct will help us let us sort of reanimate a creature to start the process all over again.
Yep. And theoretically, you can still play your Appraiser because you're trying to get your Glasspool Mimics or into your Evolution. So you have that option to try and go up the chain. A lot of people will just want to cast Quintorius because...
well, the Quintorius is a different list.
It's the other list, right?
Yeah.
But that list, I think you can still... Or maybe that list still plays Appraiser was my point.
Yes, this list is still on Appraiser.
Oh, okay. I was wrong. I thought both lists played Appraiser. And then this list just also played Quintorius.
Quintorius is, I believe Quintorius is off of Appraiser.
You're always trying to get Spark Double Impersonator.
Yes.
I was wrong. I thought this was just behind on technology because I thought that I was like, oh yeah, you would just play Quintorius as like an obvious thing, but there's actually a little bit of a difference here that I did not know.
Yes.
Okay.
Quintorius though is still playing the Carnosaur though.
That's what it is. They're still playing the Carnosaur.
Yes.
It discovers for 5.
Yeah. So the other spells people are playing, I think there's a list further down that's playing the Black Virtue as incidental removal as well. So lots of ways to abuse things here. Now let's talk about the first place list, our Quintorius build here. Which I would say that kind of the difference between these two is that the Geo Appraiser is a little more explosive because it does technically come down a turn earlier, thanks to Appraiser being only 4 mana. So you can turn through this combo essentially if you're on the 4-color build or the non-Quint build. If you're on the Quint build, you're looking at 5 or 6 mana to start going off. So our build for the Quintorius build here is we get to Companion Karuga, which is always powerful, right? Drawing a bunch of cards here. So we're on 2 Clever Impersonator, 4 Spark Double, 2 Greater Tanuki, which has a channel ability to go just rampant growth us. 4 Trumpeting Carnosaur, 4 Beanstalk Giant has Adventure to go rampant growth us. 4 Quintorius Canned, which, by the way, the tribal like African face paint Quintorius art is so dope, so gorgeous, right?
Yeah, very, very good.
We're playing 3 Consigned to Oblivion. We're playing 4 Herd Migration. We're playing 4 Leyline Binding, 4 Virtue of Persistence, that Black Virtue I was talking about, which also, again, can let us start our combo up over again if we just hard cast the Virtue just from having a bunch of big lands into play, right? So, yeah, I mean, Quintorius here, like we all said, one of the big differences is the Geoappraiser is winning through combat damage, whereas Quintorius is just like static damage you, static damage you, static
Yeah.
damage you
Yeah.
off every discover that
You,
happens.
you deal
So
2 damage every discover, and the big deal is once you can get the second Quintorius, which is pretty likely. Like I've seen some people do
yeah,
whatever, but you're likely to get to 2 because one of your clones isn't legendary.
yeah, with Spark Double.
Spark Double is the one that's not legendary, right?
Yeah.
So if you clone and it's the legendary one, unfortunately you get 1. But the idea is you get 2, and then you just do your discover nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, every spell's 4 damage, and that's a lot faster of a clock, right?
Yeah.
But it's pretty much guaranteed because you have whatever is it, 10 cards you can discover into, basically.
So off
4
of
and 5.
Quintorius, as he discovers 4, you have 6 hits.
Mm-hmm.
You have 4 Spark Double and 2 Clever Impersonator.
Yep.
So,
and then obviously with the Carnosaur, you would hit Quintorius plus or those other ones. So
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't know if it's necessarily what's the word I'm looking for? Not calculated.
Deterministic.
Thank you. But it's close. I'm not sure if you could get super unlucky and hit like all your Carnosaurs.
Yeah, it's technically not deterministic. So
you could miss.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. But I imagine it's it's pretty rare, just based on how many non-legendary clones you have,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, interesting. I think I'm a little surprised the other one got there, but it's the only one we see in the top 8. It's the only one I see in the top 32, just based on the amount of Is It Phoenix. Because Is It Phoenix has a million ways to kill your random 3/2, and I want to look and see if any of these top lists are playing Is It Charm. If you're not, and this combo deck becomes popular, you want to be playing, Is It Charm. Okay, the first list I click is multiple Is It Charms, because I was like, I really think that this hits both the combo decks. You get a counter spell, and you get the 2 damage, so you're good against either one. And I'm not surprised that, of course, the top placing Phoenix list plays multiple Is It Charms. And the other one didn't, which again I'm surprised by. But I think that's going to be the difference, right? Is if you're playing Is It Charm in this combo heavy metagame, I think you have a serious leg up. And I really like Is It Phoenix in this metagame. And
I think Is It Phoenix is going to be such a great choice because you have the removal package you're already main boarding, and then you can board into things that will interrupt the Quintorius decks as well. I think the biggest thing about these decks is, they've got some big hitting guys, but these decks are still pretty all in on the combo. Like there's no real, like it's like Greasefang where it's like, I can't Parhelion, but I'm going to smack you with a bunch of cats, right?
The Venga bus is coming, and it's not stopping,
Yeah, and so I think it's really, like, Phoenix is such a good pick for this meta right now. I think that Azorius Spirits, you have a rough Phoenix matchup, but, like, you have all the interaction because they're going to tap out, right? Like, because of their kind of greedy mana base, like, even the 4-color Discover deck can't really afford to play Cavern of Souls. So, they can board 2 in. They're playing them in the board, but that's pretty rough. I think they're also playing, like, Mirror Shell Crab as like some counter mana out of the 4-color deck list. But, like, I think Spirits is a great pick right now. I hate to say it, Control's probably a good pick.
I will always tell you that if you are one of the people that, we present Pioneer as entertaining, we present a lot of the Pioneer aspects that are like, hey, fun, a great intro to competitive. I say it every single week. Control is not the deck for you. You are just going to time out, and make people irritated along the way. I think it's good, but again, I think unless you're a master, even as good as it might be, there's other decks you can play. But I agree with you. Control seems to be doing very, very well in this metagame, and the Lotus Control version seems to be doing fine still.
Yeah.
So
I just think, like, all right, let's have our honest talk here. I think, and then we'll move on to Doesn't Slap here to kind of round things off, send people off on their Black Friday. I know, I'm sorry we didn't have the Black Friday special this year. I don't think there's actually that whole lot of great release sales going right now. Because I mean,
there's not. I found 2 things that I can quickly go over real quick if you want to hit them. It's accessories. I think it's Amazon has the penny sleeves on sale for half price. You get a 500 count. And then you can get a 100 count of top loaders for like $2 as well, and that's like more than half off, I want to say. So if you're listening today on Friday, that should still be going on, given how late we're recording this. So those are two accessories ones that I would get just because those supplies are pretty awesome. Have not seen much else, but we'll probably do a later holiday gift special. But
Yeah,
the
we'll
Black
do.
Friday stuff seems weak.
Yeah, the Black Friday stuff's pretty weak. I mean, I know also just like people are asking prices. If you can find like LCI collector boxes for like I think 200 is like 220, 200 is like a pretty good sweet spot. I think
Yeah.
the set's got pretty decent value for a little bit, so now's the time to jump on it. Of course, there's no financial advice, but I mean, I just don't think Magic is that great on if you're trying to be a Pioneer player looking for deals. It's to be a
Yeah.
lot of like older sets or
Yes.
like commander decks and stuff like that, right?
Right. Seen a lot of commander deck specials. I have seen
Yeah.
that.
So if you're looking for some commander decks you missed out on, it'd be a good time to pick some of those up. Anyway, so let's quickly talk about what we are going to do about the Discover decks. Number one, we are not going to just yell at mommy daddy wizards to ban the cards. I think yes, this combo is very strong. I do not like that this combo helps creep, especially the rock nerd build. I am afraid of how much this speeds up the format. I think Pioneer is already kind of edging into a little too fast for my blood. Because we talk about like format speeds, right? I think Pioneer should be like a turn 5, turn 6 format. You can have your lucky Grease Fang hands that get turn 4. And I think like you can have games where you realize things are kind of over by turn like 4, right? But I think I want Pioneer to kind of be like a turn 5, 6, the occasional outlier turn 4 format, right? And so
Nate grease things me on turn 3 every single time. So
well,
I will tell you that I'm more tolerable of the Appraiser deck just based on how often I get turn 3
sure,
with Grease Fang, but
sure. I just think that like I just think turn 3 is too fast
sure.
for kind of like the general Pioneer deck, and I think also like people are going to come like it's the new hotness, right? So it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
People are trying to find the right builds. There's RCs coming up. There's going to be 3 RCs next weekend. And of course, we have the US RC in a few weeks here. So
Mhm.
people are just going to be practicing, trying the new hotness, trying to see what beats it. And you know what beats it? Not tapping out. Look, I feel for the people who are like, yeah, but like, how does mono white humans beat this deck list? Well, you're already playing Destroy Evil. And you know what you can just replace Destroy Evil with? Get Lost. Like,
You can't
get
be mean
lost.
to the listeners, Ruckman. You can't tell them to get lost,
Well, no, Chris. They need to play the Magic card. Get
Oh,
lost.
they need to play the magic card. Okay.
Yeah.
What's that in Spanish? In Spanish, it's go to hell, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
So like, because I love Get Lost is this is me galaxy braining our top card picks because Get Lost is the answer to both versions of this combo. You
Right.
can destroy the Geo Appraiser, you can destroy the Quintorius, right?
This is true.
It's perfect. I like. Don't let people keep up the fallacy that you can't interact in Pioneer. Look, we all want to tap out and do our sweet, fun things, right? But when we have more decks like this coming around, you just can't do that anymore. And that's not a bad thing. I'm sure that's not the Magic everyone wants to play, but sometimes when you get pushed down, you got to get tough.
Sure, I think that it's combo decks can be fine, and again, I think I'm going to take the firm stance of we don't know yet, right? We don't know yet. Let's see how people adapt. Let's see how people want to adapt. I was a big fan of banning Teferi, not because it was the most overpowered card, but because it was the dumbest card that was being allowed to play.
Sure.
You had to play Hearthstone. You no longer got to play Magic cards. I think it was stupid. I still think Karn's stupid and needs to go, just because I think it is unfun, right? I don't think it's good for the game. So I think that I would be all about some arguments. Hey, listen, this combo, I can make treasure tokens and pump it out on turn 3, and I don't like that. And if it's prevalent enough, I could be convinced to agree. Right. But right now, I think I want to see how it plays out because I am absolutely farming these decks right now on Arena, and Daddy wants some free wins. Okay, I want all these free wins I can take with Mono Black and other decks.
I think let's see what happens with the rest of the RCs.
Mm-hmm.
What happens with the rest of the challenges going forward? Like if we're still seeing challenge top 34s be very diverse, I'm not worried. Yes, the decks are all over leagues. because why? They're an easy deck just to grind out leagues with.
Yep.
They're also the new hotness.
The new
of
hotness.
Of course, you're going to run into these decks, but let's not freak out just yet.
Right. I don't want to quit paying Paris Hilton her royalties by saying that's hot. So
that's hot. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else? What else was in this? Do you have anything else? Any kind of fun outlying finishes here? 22nd place Amalia combo.
Yep. Amalia combo I think is real. I just think it's less cute. Like it's fun to just cascading is fun. I don't care what anybody tells you. That's why it's attracted modern. And again, if you're a modern player, please don't leave because we make fun of modern. You are welcome here. This is a safe place away from the scam, right? You actually will play against different decks when you play your leagues, when you play your locals. Locals would be full of brews if and when you can find them. Ours used to be, 20 plus people. It used to be the most popular format in both the cities that I was in. So, again, this is a safe space.
Now we all got replaced by Commander.
We're gonna we're gonna jostle you a little bit, right? We're gonna give you a little bit of a hard time, but not too much of a hard time.
We're gonna rustle your jimmies.
But you are welcome here. We absolutely welcome you. Please reach out and say, hey, refugee modern player here, and I like the Discover combo. Good for you. And if that's the case, and if it's bringing modern players to Pioneer because you love cascading, I'm all about it.
All right, let's take a look at some deck lists that were sent to by our own community, though.
Let's do that. Let's see.
Chris, do you want to sum the theme song for me?
If you're new to this podcast, because maybe your format is absolute garbage and unplayable right now, and so you've come to Pioneer, we have a tradition on the show, which is every once in a while we ask our amazing listeners to supply us with deck lists that we will rate with a slap rating in a segment known as Does It Slap?
All right, we got some fun deck lists set in. Our first deck list is going to come from Amal GG, who says, it was fun and limited. We're all in Turbo Captain. Woo. Vampires and pirates and merfolk and dinosaurs. Oh my. If only Ricky was here, because Ricky was trying this out too. So we got 3 Benthic Biomancer, 3 Fanatical Firebrand, 3 Greedy Freebooter, 3 Knight of the Ebon Legion, 3 Merfolk Secret Keeper, 3 Voldaren Epicure, 3 Nest Robber, 1 Rampaging Spiketail, 1 Seismic Monstrosaur, 1 Marauding Brine Fang, 4 Fatal Push, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Throne of the Grim Captain.
There it is. Here's our combo piece. Throne of the Grim Captain, in case you don't know, it's two colorless mana for a legendary artifact. We can tap to mill 2 cards, and then for 4 mana, we can craft with a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, and a vampire to make a 7/7 Menace, Trample, Lifelink, Hexproof. Whenever it attacks, each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent. Then you may put an exiled creature used to craft the Grim Captain onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. Hence some of these big creatures we got in here in order to craft with. So yeah, this deck, it seems like a lot of fun, right? We get to, the big thing is you can craft from the yard. That's why we are playing Merfolk Secret Keeper here in order to mill some stuff and a little bit of interaction, right? A little Fatal Push, a little Thoughtseize action. It does seem to me like this would be a really, really good deck for our newest Doomblade here, our newest 2 mana destroy creature or planeswalker, discard a card, since we get to craft with our cards from the yard, right? This would be a list that could take advantage of that and maybe not be limited by the Fatal Push, since we don't have a ton of ways. Oh, never mind. We're pretty good at triggering Revolt, Fanatical Firebrand, and then Voldaren Epicure. So we've got options. We got Baking Soda,
That's right.
2 mana, 2/1 haste. There's probably some other dinosaurs we can play.
Well, it's all 1-drops, except for the Nest Robber, and then the Nest Robber is
the Nest Robber is 2.
Is haste. And then we got the singular ones that just let us cycle away, right, to go find our lands.
Yep. I probably want the 4th Epicure. We have a lot of really bad cards we want to be discarding in order to find our Throne of the Grim Captain. And of course, Grim Captain can also help us mill, but you don't need a second one. So again, another great reason to play or discard a card in order to destroy any creature. So I think this is fun, right? Ricky had the same idea and was jamming with this. What do you want to give this as a rating, or do you want me to go first, Ruckman?
I'm going to go ahead and give this a dinosaur, a merfolk, and a pirate out of what we need to craft this.
out of 4, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to give this a 5 out of 7/7 Menace, Trample, Lifelink, Hexproof.
Okay.
Rating here. I'm a big fan of this deck. Not much I could say to improve it. We got a bunch of good looking 1-drops, and then I think the big change I would make is improve our removal suite by a little bit, and then test it, see how we do. So
Sure.
thank you to them all. We love it when people respond to these challenges, and this is a really cool deck with some new cards. So I
All
greatly
right.
appreciate it.
All right. So this one comes from Fast Grim, which we've had some correction on this.
Okay, we've had some correction.
We were really hyped the turn 2 win.
Okay.
Now we've realized we have a really specific turn 3 win.
Okay.
But this is Let's Play Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is a Rona build built around winning with Millennium Calendar.
Okay. The Millennium Calendar, of course, says when you untap one or more permanents during your untap step.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big one, right? During your untap step, put that many time counters on the Millennium Calendar, but you can pay 2 and tap it to double the number of time counters on Millennium. And again, listen, I'm no math artist here. I'm no rocket surgeon.
That's right.
But I'm pretty sure even if we doubled the number 1 X number of times, we probably win in about 50 turns.
We don't need that, Chris, because we're playing the Paradox Engine.
The Paradox Engine? What's the Paradox?
Yeah, so the Paradox Engine is 5-mana legendary artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. So while we've got our Rona combo going with our Retraction Helix and our Rona, and we're bouncing and replaying this Mox Amber, right? We've got a copy of the Enigma Jewel in play, which taps for 2 mana to spend this mana only to activate abilities. And what happens to cost 2 mana, Chris?
Well, the Millennium Calendar costs 2 mana, Ruckman.
The Millennium Calendar costs 2 mana. So we speed out our Paradox Engine, and then we start going up the calendar.
Yeah, we do. We start going up the calendar. It's going to become 2012 before you know it, and that's the end of time. Nothing happens after 2012.
Right.
The world
calendar definitely doesn't reset after that.
It doesn't. The world just ends. So hey, sweet little Rona combo deck here using some new cards. Ruckman, what do you think the slap rating should be for?
I'm gonna give this
Millennium Rona.
I'm gonna give this a 900 years out of a total millennium.
I'm gonna give this a 900 years out of a total. I like that. This is the most Yu-Gi-Oh deck because when I think millennium,
how many years we've played Magic, right?
That's how many years I've played Magic. I also think Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I also think Yu-Gi-Oh. I think Y2K. I'm gonna give this 3 out of the 4 sunsets that Teferi, who slows the sunsets, sees.
Somebody get this man some sunglasses. He's gonna go blind.
He's gonna go blind. He got a Bored Ape NFT and he went to the party.
Went to that party.
He went to that party, and so
had unintended LASIK.
He's in trouble. I will dock a point because we misread these cards at first. So we'll say 2 out of 4 for the.
All right, this next one comes from KFH Photon Wolf, who sends us. So they make the new set, but it spurred me to pick it back up again and tweak it. This was the deck I used when I first got into Pioneer, but put it away for a while. I waited for better pieces to cheat in. Oh, I think I know what we're cheating in with this deck list now. Oh, we're not? Okay.
No, we're Ilharg. We're Ilharging.
Well, no. Well, I thought we were going to cheat in Galta.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, so this deck list is 3 Elvish Mystic, 4 Atali, Primal Conqueror, 3 Generator Servant, 3 Hulking Raptor, 3 Ilharg the Raised Boar, 3 Elysian Caryatid, 2 Llanowar Elves, 4 Ogier Deepest Growth, which lets us kind of do the same thing as Ilharg, 3 Olgoth Troll, 3 Terror of the Peaks, 4 Trumpeting Carnosaur, 2 See the Written, 2 3 Feel the Written. I love See the Written. That's a good card. That's a fun card. I'm worried we don't have enough lands, but I think we have like Generator Servant, I guess, kind of speeding us up here.
This is not enough lands. As a matter of fact, you are not, in fact, is it Phoenix who is going to see a bunch of stuff? And even with 5 elves, you unfortunately, this is a war crime. We cannot play 20 lands in this deck. We're gonna cry a lot of tears of the Carnarium even. Yeah, but we've got a lot of really cool stuff we're doing here. We do need to make some room for lands. My vote is Old Growth Troll. I think those cards have no business here.
Yeah,
I don't think we can utilize those. That should just be 3 forests, right?
sure.
3 forests, and I'm mostly happy. I'm with you in that I do think we missed Galta, particularly
Hmm.
the new big one. That's just like, hey, not once I sneak this one in, I
Now I
then
get
get,
to dump my hand.
yes, now Galta's not a cast, right? It's just is it a
It
comes into
should
play?
it should just be an
That's
ETB.
one thing we need to check before we go
When it
doing
enters
this.
when it enters the battlefield.
Yes, of course it is. It's an Enters Battlefield. I knew that. I didn't need to double check it. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I think that's the oversight here. I think I want to see a couple of those just so that we can get all of our other massive creatures that are stuck in our hand into play. We will hopefully have more than one, given it's mostly what we're doing besides elf stuff. So
Mhm.
I like that. I probably want to see one more utility. I like Trumpeting Carnosaur, but it's a new card. Um, and what are we discovering for 5? We can discover a
Uh,
Tear of the Peaks.
Yep.
Yeah, we can. Yes, yes, yes. And so I would like to also reduce the number of misses. So I'd like to take out again the Old Growth Trolls for that. We can hit another O'Hare. We can hit another Ilharg. There's a lot of things that we can hit, although most of these are legendary. So,
Mhm.
but you can put them to your hand. So if your first one dies, you can just cast the second one. So, yeah, I mean, I like Generator Servant. A lot of cards I like here. So, like everything, would like to see 3 more lands in favor of Old Growth Trolls and
Mhm.
Galta. What are you got any other thoughts, Ruckman?
Yeah, no, I definitely think Galta. I think we can just also just put in some big dumb idiots. Like I see this Titan of Industry in the sideboard, right? Like we could bring in stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, what is Atali? What's the new Atali do?
New
He's
Atali's
putting
the one
stuff.
that gets cast stuff. We get our opponents. I think that's cool. I think
Okay,
Atali's a
yeah,
flavor win. We get our
yeah,
opponent's cards. We get our cards. That's a cool.
yeah.
Good. I think that's a great include.
All right, yeah, yeah.
I like most of the
Uh,
cards we've included.
yeah, I just think like let's put some new Galta in here, right? Let's have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
We could probably cut Hulking Raptor.
I'm a fan of keeping that. It's a new
Sure,
card, which gives you
new
flavor
card.
and it gives
Okay,
you 2 extra manas. And
yeah.
it's harder to kill than a random elf. So like it's pretty make sure that we're gonna get our thing. So
Yeah. But I played against a similar deck list at an RCQ once,
yeah,
and when this deck gets going, it's really scary.
yeah. You get wrecked pretty hard here when you're just
Yeah.
like, right, because you get to 5
I,
pretty quick. So
yeah, true. Ow, 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 stop it! Get out of here! Get out
yeah,
of here!
Maggie wants a piece.
All right. So
All right.
what do you want to rate this?
I will give this a 7 out of 6, which is the power and toughness on Trumpeting Carnosaur.
Okay. I'm gonna give this a how many peaks do you think Terror of the Peaks like actively terrorizes? Like
I think you
how
can.
big of a mountain range do you
I
think
mean, like he's got to go grocery shopping. He's got to pick
Yeah.
up his kids from his ex-wife. Like I think a maximum of like 10 peaks.
10 peaks. Okay. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 peaks, the Terror of the Peaks
7 peaks. Yeah, 10 peaks is the Terror of the Peaks.
resides over, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Big Dumpy Graveyard Deck from Bing Saki. So we got 4 Deathrite Shaman, 4 Stalactite Stalker, 4 Stitcher Supplier, 4 Feed Artisan, 2 Old Stick Fingers, 4 Satyr Wayfinder, 4 Souls Lost, 2 Urborg Lurgoyf, 2 The Myco Tyrant. I see what we're doing here.
Yep.
4 Witherbloom Command, 4 The Huntsman's Redemption.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Souls of the Lost.
Uh-huh.
I think that this card could potentially see play in Greasefang.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only spells you're really rocking are maybe some Can't Stay Aways, Thought Seizes, and a lot of decks are moving away from even like Witherbloom Command to some extent. A
Yeah.
lot of your other stuff are permanents. Whether or not you're playing Liliana, Shieldred, your vehicles are all permanents, right?
Right.
So I think Souls of the Lost is looking to make some moves here, and I'm a big fan of the card. Otherwise, we're just a dump creatures into the yards deck.
We're a big dumpy graveyard.
We're a big dumpy graveyard deck, and nothing could make me happier. I think that I'm a big fan. Of course, we've got Huntsman's Redemption, which is a brewer's favorite. Witherbloom Command to kill off those pesky Tormod's whips. Right? We don't want people messing with our graveyard. We're hands off that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll be honest. There's not much I want to change here other than if we are playing blue. We are not. So we're not going to play the Cruel Somnophage. So we are going to stick with our Urborg Lurgurf and whatever we have currently to mill stuff. So, yeah. I'm a fan. Blue Command mills
All
some
right.
stuff with William Command. Yeah, mills 3 cards. I see. Yeah, I mean it all adds up to me. I don't see anything that I'm really like, oh wow, we're obviously missing this. We're playing some new cards for cuteness. We got Deathrite Shaman, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. The only thing, again, if you really wanted to play a little bit more interaction, you could play the new card. People just don't like the bitter triumphs. They're not
Yeah.
listening. They're not fans out here because again, we
They're
got a lot of
they're
cards.
listening. They're listening to me, and they know it's all cope.
They're listening to
Cope
you.
all the way down.
Yep. All right. What are you thinking here, Ruckman?
So I'm looking at Fiend Artisan, right?
Yeah, we're looking.
And he's an up and coming artist, and I just wanted everyone to know that he recently sold a nice little bone sculpture
Mm-hmm.
for $85,000,
Dang, he's rocking.
and that's my slap rating.
Okay, that's your slap rate, $85,000. Okay, I love it. How many fingers do you think Old Stick Fingers has?
Not as many as you would want because they're old and falling off.
Probably like 69.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Okay, I'm gonna give this 45 out of the 69 fingers that Old Stick Fingers has.
Okay, all right. Our next one comes from a new member of the Discord server and a new patron as well. Fulgrim, who
Fulgrim.
sends us green black fight rigging. So we're gonna go ahead and pull
Yeah.
4 Elvish Mystic, 1 Glissa Sunslayer, 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Pugnacious Hammer Skull.
New Dino.
Yeah, we're gonna play 4 Rotting Regisaur, 3 Shakedown Heavy, 2 the Tarask, 4 Titanith Rex, 4 Fight Rigging, 1 Virtue of Persistence, 4 Fatal Push, 4 Thoughtseize.
I like it.
Once again, I'm gonna say,
yeah,
where's New Galta at?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I would like to replace Titanith Rex with New Galta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have played against this deck. They played New Galta. They promptly put a million creatures into play that I could not deal with all of them, and I was dead. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, we just get this nonsense going. So that's a new card that I would like to see. I do like Virtue of Persistence.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point, if your opponent is interacting with this, one, we get a removal spell, and then on the backside, right, we just get to be a Pearl of Phyrexia type situation. So, big fan of Glissa Sunslayer. Huge include to go after my heart. You're going to get bonus points for that because obviously I love Glissa Sunslayer. I think it's one of the strongest creatures in Pioneer. I don't know how much sense it makes here, but when we're playing against other fight rigging decks,
that's right.
It's OP. Because then we get to destroy their fight rigging, and the fight's rigged in our favor.
We're defining the meta now, and we need to watch out these other fight rigging deck lists.
That's
right?
That's exactly right. Yes, so we need to set that up.
We also first strike Death Touch down some nerds with rocks.
Yes, we can. Yes, we could do that if we need to. So big fan of that. Obviously, if we fight rigging, we do get to cast the spell.
That's right.
I believe. So that's that's going to make our Tarask stronger, which is a cute one.
Mm-hmm.
And Cantu attacks, fights. Yeah, big like it. This is a similar list to some of the things I've seen. A couple new upgrades there that I like. Interesting sideboard. Okay, I'm ready to give this a slap rating. I'm a fan. I just want to swap out the Rexes for some amount of Galtas and maybe two more. I want to swap. I don't think we need to be that big on the Fatal Push. Fatal Push is good, but you need to be able to kill 3/2 creatures and Quintoriuses and things like that. So Fatal Push, it doesn't cut it in this new world we live in. Yeah. So let's play 2 Fatal Push and take out 2 Titanic Rex to play Galta and then go 4 Bitter Triumph, right? Or 4 whatever removal spell you like, Assassin's Trophy. I don't care. Something to interact well with the new world that we live in.
Mm-hmm, so for sure. All right, what do you want to give this?
What do I want to give this? I want to give this a Come Hideaway with me 3 out of Hideaway 5.
Mm-hmm. I've been handed a note here by some Shakedown Heavies, and the note says, this deck is the best deck I have ever seen. I am not being forced to say this against my will, and this deck gets a 10 out of 10 Tarask power and toughness.
I love it. Perfect 10 out of 10. Somebody had to get it,
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is from current Crew3 champion, Jay Dizzle, who sends us Pioneer Fish.
Let's sit up straight and pay our respects to the Crew3 Pioneer champion.
All right, we got 4 sent out scout, 4 deep root. This is the one I was talking about with the with our benthic biomancer here. 4
Yes.
Kior's follower. Here we go. The follower, 4 Kumena speaker, 2 Kumena Tyrant of Raska, 4 Merfolk Mistbinder, 4 Silvergill Adept, 1 Thassa's Oracle, 4 Valdalian Hedgecatcher, 4 Collected Company, 1 Springleaf Drum, 4 Deep Root Pilgrim. So of course here, this is what I was talking earlier when I said, if we just have 2 copies of Kior's follower in play with our Deep Root Pilgrimage out, we just get to make infinite Merfolk.
Yep. Draw infinite cards with
our Kumena, and then we get Thassa's Oracle to win.
We are asking for a lot. we need 2 Kior's followers, a Deep Root Pilgrimage in play, and a Kumena, which we only have 2 of. And we go. Now, to be fair, if we don't have Kumena, we're probably winning with 2 followers and a Deep Root Pilgrimage.
Yes.
Right. We're probably still winning that way. We made 1,000,000 tokens. We probably don't need the Kumena in play. But yeah, I'm the littlest surprised we didn't get cute and play like 2 clone effects.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, just Glassful Mimic is so easy to fit in with our companies.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. It's easy to fit in with our company. So, like, that's maybe the only oversight that I see. Otherwise, the champ has done us well.
Yeah,
the champ has done us well.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the only comment I have. Right, we've got a fleshed out sideboard, fleshed out lands. There was love put into this Merfolk deck.
Yeah,
this isn't just somebody who picked up the Merfolk and adopted it on the and then was like, oh no, I can't really have these Merfolk. I've got Merfolk at home, and they don't like other Merfolks. Yeah. I've got my typal deck of choice, and they just don't get along. I got to put this stuff. Does anybody want this deck? I need a foster fam. I've only fostered it. I can't take it in. Yeah. This was somebody who picked up the Merfolk and has loved it. So they found it eating in the Wendy's trash can.
Yeah.
And have loved it ever since then.
Look, my first typal family can't find out my Merfolk typal family.
Right.
The first typal wife will only believe that I need to go to Paris for my Best Buy manager job once or twice a year. It's not going to work every other week.
Right. Good luck if you're still following us on these analogies here. But yeah, this is somebody who put some thought in. I really, really like it. Again, other than I'd like to see maybe some Glassful Mimics to hit with those companies, like you said. So I am going to give this deck a perfect 1 out of 1 for the Fedalian Hexcatcher power in toughness.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, look, I respect our champion immensely. So yes. I'm going to give this an infinite out of infinite Deep Root Pilgrimage tokens that we can make.
There you go. You should have given it a 69,420 out of infinity. Missed opportunity, of course.
All right. Our last deck list here is Cactus Juice giving us Splinter Fin.
Oh, this is just the deck with glass polemics.
Yeah,
I love it. We had the same idea here. Well, yeah, I mean,
hold on.
Okay,
this is some tech though. It's also 1 Agatha's Soul Cauldron.
Yeah,
so our Deep Root Elite can make anything into a Kior's follower.
Oh, it's like I always say, if you throw 1 Agatha Soul Cauldron into a deck, you just always look like a genius, right? Everybody's always like, nobody ever questions it like my 1 of Siege Rhinos.
Yeah.
And people go, yeah, why do you have Siege Rhino in your mono white deck, you idiot? First of all, don't call me an idiot. I don't even know you. Second of all, not the case with Agatha Soul Cauldron, right? Agatha Soul, you always look smart, and of course, in this case, it makes a ton of sense. Yeah, this is kind of the change. Other than I might be like one more if I can get so greedy. We're
also not winning off of Thassa's Oracle anymore.
Yeah, we probably again need one of those in here as well, because I do feel like that's an easy way to potentially get there, especially now that we have more ways to make things into yours followers.
I'm just saying, I don't want to make infinite guys and then just have my infinite guys get settled.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't want to wait for our lives
to be over. That's right. Yeah,
you knew where I was going with that. So otherwise, I love the Splinter Fin deck. Is a great name. Also, we've won. So man, what do you have for slap ratings here?
I'm gonna give this an infinite +1 because this is just our this is the next evolution. right?
This is the next
This is
evolution.
this is the little brother shows up and he's like, "Oh yeah, well I'm Infinity plus one."
I wish I knew about more evolutionary theories than I
Go
do.
watch Dragon Ball Evolution. That'll lay it all out for you.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I think we give this a 69-421 out of the infinity tokens
Oh,
we're gonna make with Deep Root Pilgrimage, and say great ideas, guys. Both really good decks, and really like it.
yeah. All right. Well, that will do it for this thrilling rendition of Does Stuff. We'll be back probably here in the next few months with some other challenge. I mean, I don't think we'll probably have another one before Karlov comes out, but
Mm-hmm.
expect another a brew episode when Karlov comes out. And you know, points if you can guess early who the murderer is going to be, and you can't tell me it's not Massacre Girl. I'm pretty sure the murderer is Massacre Girl. It's
No,
kind of in her name.
no, it was Colonel Mustard.
It's Colonel Mustard. All
It's
right.
always Colonel Mustard.
All right. That will do it, Chris, for this week. Unless you got anything else for the people?
No. Thanks for the.
Any final thoughts for the people who are going to battle out some RCs this weekend? Besides, hey, don't freak out. It's pack removal.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Pack instant speed interaction.
have lots of fun. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the engagement on Twitter. The people that have been hanging out, having some fun, chatting about Godfrey's gift and just loving the show and hanging out with us and giving us some feedback. So thanks. And again, we love when people submit. I love even more submissions, but this worked out perfectly the amount of time that we had. And the submissions we got were really well thought out. So again, thanks a ton for the people that go to our Discord, which is, how much does it cost to join our Discord, Ruckman?
Oh, the Discord is free $99.
Free, $0 it costs to come join
$0.
A community of other Pioneer players and chat about
and just to remind everyone, because I get asked for people who join the Patreon asking how to join the Discord. Anyone, like I said, anyone can join the Discord. If you're a patron member, you get access to the mailbag, which we'll talk about here in a second, and a patron only channel. But there is a link below in the episode description. If you're listening on to your favorite podcast provider, or hopefully starting this week, we'll be back with the video version. So
that's right.
There's always a link to join the Discord attached to these episodes that go up. And if the links for whatever reason are just going to be dead, they should all work though. So if there are issues with the links, let me know and we can go ahead.
Ruckman's actually good at technology, so he knows how to embed those links through the series of tubes that I call the interwebs.
Run under the ocean.
Yes, they go into the ocean.
That Al Gore made.
Thank you, Al Gore. Here's to you. I'm gonna toast my soda that I'm drinking.
Toast to Man Bear Pig himself.
To Man Bear Pig himself.
All right. Yes, that'll. Just be sure to join it. A couple other things. If you are a Patreon member, and let's talk about this. Patreon.com/Crew3MTG. Silver get tiers available. Like I said, it was pointed out. I mentioned last week that we were behind on our exclusives. Well, Chris and I recorded an exclusive that went up earlier this week. It was a really fun one where we got to talk about 9 of the most important Magic cards to us and sort of what they mean, the story behind them. People, who was it?
We got personal.
Yeah. I was a wonderful conversation. Fastgrim also jumped into the Patreon channel and was sharing their 3x3 square. So if you're a patron, be sure to jump in and share us your 3x3 card as well and why those mean so much to you. It's, I think, a really fun thing to talk about, discuss. We'll have one more before November's over to kind of round up things there. I am working on more videos to go up that will debut on the Patreon before they make their way to YouTube. So, hey, sign up early for the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon to see videos early. Those are all going to be on our $5 tier or higher.
Sign up mostly because you like us and want to support this.
Want to support the channel.
Secondarily because you get stuff.
You get stuff like the swag bag if you join the $15 US or $20 international tier. The international is a little bit higher just to help cover shipping costs, right? We send all kinds of fun stuff here. I'm hoping our cards for November get here on time. If not, they might be a little delayed in going out. But of course, all tiers do get access to the Patreon mailbag where you can ask a question that sounds something like this. This one comes from El Cappy7, who asks, looking at the Ikoria companions, for each of you, which one is your spirit animal?
I've never been asked a better question. Especially when it comes to like astrological signs.
Sure.
I did go on a date a long time ago with a very lovely person, and
Uh-huh.
then they were big into the astrology sign stuff,
Did they ask what time you were born?
basically,
Yeah.
because they were like a water horse or something like that.
Okay.
And as cool as that was, it just was not my vibe. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't say the word. I'm too old to say the word vibe. I'm way too old to say that word. But it just wasn't. It wasn't my thing. But they were really cool. We remained friends. This is the kind of question I want to be asked right
Uh-huh.
here. What is
Sure.
my quick opinion? I don't know that I have an answer off the top of my head. What do you think yours is, Ruckman?
Oh,
Have
man.
you an answer?
I'm just Umori. I'm just out
Yeah.
here collecting shiny math rocks.
Yeah.
Everyone forgot about him.
Yeah. I want to say I'm between two, right? Karuga.
I want to say I'm Lutri because Lutri's fun, adorable, and cute, right?
See, that's the thing. I also want to say Lutri because I want to say I'm fun and
But
adorable.
we're not all Lutri.
But we can't all be Lutri.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be a Lutri, statistically speaking. You know,
Really? I'm definitely a Karuga because
right?
I'm just fat as.
I was gonna say I am also a dinosaur hippo,
Yeah.
and so I probably should identify most with Karuga. Um, some people out there that are gonna identify with Luris because they're banned from a lot of places,
Yeah.
and that's where some people are gonna identify. But yeah, I think I want to say Lutri because I think that's fun. But secondarily Karuga. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the question, El Cappy. We'll get Ricky's when he's back on the show next time. But yeah, so of course, like I said, patreon.com/crew3mtg. Lots of other things going up. And yeah, like I said, hopefully this week we'll start. I was hoping to get last week to be the start of the video podcast coming back, but we just had a lot of fun with my wife for her birthday. We were very, very tired after spending a whole day at the Ren Fair.
Yes.
So that was a lot of fun. So video podcast will be starting up hopefully this week. It's not going to be out by the time you hear the audio version. This is
Yep.
going to come out probably on
It
Monday.
is Thanksgiving.
Yes. The audio will come out. The video version will be out probably on Monday or Tuesday, kind of like how we did last time. Audio comes out first. You get the video a few days later. Like I said, we're starting up more video content. Ricky's been streaming kind of on Wednesday evenings, Wednesday nights. And then I'm going to start streaming here in the next couple of weeks on Sunday at early afternoons for a little bit. The streams are kind of going to not probably be always Magic. I'm just going to stream some other stuff, some random stuff. I don't know if you know this, but the Bluey video game came out, and I think we're going to play some Bluey. We're going to just have a lot of fun and just chill out, have fun, play things non-Magic because there's more. We love Pioneer, we love Magic. There's more than there's Magic out there.
That's right.
So be sure to jump in and check out all the content we have coming up. VODs will be made available over on the YouTube channel crew3.com or youtube.com/crew3mtg. And like I said, we're going to start making more video content exclusive for YouTube, but we'll go up on Patreon first if you are part of that exclusive, the $5 tier or above tier there. So, Chris, anything else before we sign off here and just say, once again, thank you everyone for tuning in, week out. We are 202 episodes and still going strong.
No, thank everybody for listening. I've loved all 202 episodes of it, and thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
That's right. We'll see y'all next week. And of course, if you did donate to our Extra Life campaign, I have the supplies I need to get things mailed out. So those will be going out this weekend as well. So if you have, I know some of our bigger donors, you will get tracking info. I'm going to send that to you if you give us your contact info in the little thing I had you fill out when you donated. So
Awesome.
be sure to look out for that info as well. We'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.